What up, gang? I'm back again, man. Back again after a tough loss to the Redskins yesterday. So now the Philadelphia Eagles 1-3 on the season. You know, we got fans. Got some fans panicking, some fans saying the season over. You got some fans that's still optimistic, and then you got fans like me who just sitting back trying to gather up some kind of positive energy to put into this video. I didn't do this video yesterday because I was so frustrated, man. I couldn't. I had everything I wanted to say, but I just couldn't do it yesterday. I'd have been too angry. But what I'm doing now is I'm simply gonna break down like what's going on now. Like you got Sam Bradford, a lot of people talking about him. You got people talking about Kelly. You got DeMarco Murray frustrated with his touches. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna break these videos down and make them shorter, so you guys can watch them and not have to sit through a 30-minute video. So the first thing I'm gonna start with is Sam Bradford, man. Of course, Sam Bradford, his stats on the year, he's got a 60.7 completion percentage, 948 passing yards, and 6 passing touchdowns in 4 games. So on average, that's 948 divided by 4. That's 2. He's averaging 239 point something yards a game, and he's averaging 1.5 touchdowns a game. Now those stats is not mind blowing. Now yesterday he went 15 for 28 for 270 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, for the most part, man, I'm gonna discuss Bradford and then I'm gonna discuss the pros and the cons. But let me start with saying that Sam Bradford is not really a guy that I ever was sold on Chip Kelly wanting. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't ever sold on the idea that Chip Kelly wanted him. When we traded for him, everything we gave up and what we got in return, it just seemed like Chip Kelly was plotting on making a move or something. So I think he used Bradford to get DeMarco Murray here. Now don't get me wrong, when Chip Kelly did that press conference, he never said anything that made Bradford feel unwanted. What happened was Bradford got wind of that trade to Cleveland and said, I would not sign an extension with Cleveland Browns if I'm traded there. So, but I discussed that in the video before. But make a long story short, I think Chip Kelly had a trade in play for draft day for one of Cleveland first rounders if they got Bradford in return. Which makes perfect sense if you trying to really make a move for Mariota. You want to put together the best trade package possible. And I believe that up until Bradford came out and said what he said, I believe that that trade was on the table, but Cleveland pulled it off once Bradford said what he said. I believe he was a trade chip that Chip got stuck with, and the fact that Chip never said anything out of the ordinary that made him feel unwanted, it seems like, this was his guy. So now you got to hype this guy up. And the funny thing about Bradford, man, I'm not going to be completely hard on Bradford because when we traded for Bradford, we had 4/5 of our OLine intact. I think the only guy that we planned on cutting from the jump was Todd Harriman. So it's a lot easier to plug one guy on an offensive line with 4 guys that got chemistry and everything than it is to plug in 2 guys right in the middle next to a center like Jason Kelce. Now, in Bradford's defense, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see the accuracy there, you know what I'm saying, when he has time to throw and his receivers is open and everything. Like, that beautiful pass he hit Cooper with for 62 yards, I think. That 39-yard pass that he threw he can get the ball down the field, and his accuracy is off at times. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes he'll overthrow a receiver that's wide open in stride going down the field. He has a step on the cornerback and he's overthrowing him. You know what I'm saying? But the main problem with Bradford, I'm not here to bash Bradford. I actually like Bradford's potential, and I was a Sanchez guy. You know what I'm saying? I was a Sanchez guy. I said Sanchez was going to be the starter. That was my bold prediction and everything. And after going to a couple training camps, I saw Bradford, and then they was raving and ranting about how he just throws that deep ball and places it wherever he wants to. And I seen it for myself. And my friend Rachel NFL, shout out to her. Check out her YouTube channel too. She said to me, she said, I just missed that deep ball. Like I like Bradford because I just missed that deep ball that's been missing from our game. So when I seen it for myself, I said, you know what? Maybe we can, if this guy stay healthy, maybe we can. And everything Chip Kelly said. Like I said, I want to believe and get behind Chip Kelly, but he makes it so difficult. You know what I'm saying? But how Bradford is playing right now, it's not necessarily that Chip Kelly was wrong about this guy. Like I can pinpoint a lot of guys Chip Kelly done got it wrong with, but Sam Bradford, I'm not gonna give up on him yet, and this for the simple fact of you don't have an offensive line. Like I said, Jason Peters is 33 years old. He's not athletic enough now, whereas he, like you see, he's getting injured. He has a quad injury. He left the Redskins game yesterday. He doesn't have like the youth in him now to be able to carry the left guard like he did years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like he's an older guy now. Alan Barber is 31 years old, and he's pretty much probably at best a backup. I would have rather we kept Evan Mathis and put Alan Barber at right guard. You know what I'm saying? Lane Johnson is still a young guy. He's pretty good, but even he has a sprained MCL now. So now you got a makeshift offensive line already, and now you got to dibble dabble and switch players around now because you got two guys that's injured. Jason Kels was a guy that was athletic and everything, and he got plugged into Howard Mudd's system. As y'all know, Howard Mudd, when he came here, he had that new system that nobody could succeed in but Jason Peters and Jason Kels. He took Jason Kels and put him in Jamal Jackson's center spot because he felt like Kels was more athletic. You know, Kels can move around, and it's true. But the problem now is like when you got two guys beside you. You know what I'm saying? It's a real tough load to carry, having two guys beside you and no chemistry. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a lot more than the off season, man. Sometimes it takes a few games of live action. But looking at Bradford, man, the only thing that frustrates me with Bradford is like he stands there and takes fucking sacks. Like that's the only thing. Like yesterday, like if you know the pass rush gonna come at you, like you gotta react a little bit sooner. Like you either gotta step up in the pocket and let them over pursue, or you gotta get rid of that ball some kind of way. Now on to the tip of him holding on to the ball too long. That's a theory. I'ma just say for now, that has a lot to do with the inexperience of the wide receivers. Because I know a lot of people think you holding on to that ball too long, but trust and believe, if Bradford had open targets whenever he had a chance to throw it, he would throw that ball. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes he throw balls in tight windows and they get batted down. You know what I'm saying? That's a case of anxiety, listening to everybody saying you're holding on to it too long, so you try to thread the needle and get it in, and it gets batted down, and it's usually third down when he does that. And it frustrates me when he does that. But it's been a lot of times where I seen Bradford drop back with good protection, and he stands in the pocket, and it seems like he's holding the ball too long, but he's not. That's the inexperience of the wide receiver core because nobody can get open. Like Nelson Aguilar is a rookie. Josh Huff is a second year player. Jordan Matthews is a second year player. Like you do have Miles Austin and you do have Riley Cooper, but for the most part, you don't have like a Calvin Johnson or like Calvin Johnson can teach you about how to handle a double team. Des Bryant can teach you about how to get physical when a cornerback want to get physical with you. Julio Jones can teach you, how to move around and create mismatches all over the offensive formation. You know what I'm saying? But Riley Cooper, he's a veteran now. But Riley Cooper is he's a guy that's fallen out of favor with a lot of fans. Me personally, I mean, I like Cooper for what he is. You know what I'm saying? But Miles Austin, he's an older guy. But these aren't like Calvin Johnsons and Julio Joneses, where they could pull a young receiver to the side and mentor him, you know what I'm saying, about the ins and the outs of playing the receiver position. Like, okay, sometimes that cornerback's going to frustrate you when he jam you at the line. When you see your quarterback scrambling, you got to make your own play. Like, you got to break off the route. You just got to find a way to get open. You got to create separation by doing this, that, and the third. There's nobody really on this team that can mentor these guys. So they really got to find their own way. And a lot of times on behalf of Bradford and in his defense, you just don't see a lot of the inexperience. Like you see the inexperience come out in the receivers when they're not getting open. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, then you see a couple plays. Bradford's not a run threat, so it's easier to game plan against us in the run game. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so frustrating for DeMarco Murray to actually find his. Tony Romo wasn't a run threat really either, but you had a top notch offensive line, and that's Jerry Jones. He's a real asshole. He's arrogant. He's everything Chip Kelly is. But the thing is, at a certain point, Jerry Jones said, "You know what? I'm going to stop doing what I want to do and do what I have to do." And he built that offensive line. You know what I'm saying? And it's a top-notch O-line. So he, instead of handling the draft like he used to, he went and snatched offensive linemen. And they're pretty damn good offensive line, man. That's why Murray succeeded last year, and that's why he's struggling this year. Because, I mean, what are you going to do? You're playing on the offensive line with two guys that's probably not even better than the worst guy on the Dallas offensive line. So, I mean, it's kind of hard for Kels to carry the load to his right and to his left. It's hard for Jason Peters to carry Allen Barber. He's an older guy now. Lane Johnson, he can't carry Andrew Gardner. He's still Lane Johnson is good, don't get me wrong, but he's a young guy. He's 3 years in? You know what I'm saying? So he can't pull a guy next to him to the side and say, do this, that, and the third. It's all about technique, man. And the hardest thing about the technique in the Chip Kelly offense is that it's a Chip Kelly offense. You don't have pros, you don't have veteran guys that Evan Mathis was talented. So he was a veteran that you plugged into the left guard spot, but he also benefited from having Peters beside him for the simple fact that, the year Peters went down, Evan Mathis, the left side wasn't as good, and Shady wasn't as good in his run statistics. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, my jury is not out on Bradford yet. I think he can be a star in this league. And you seen, when he got protection yesterday, he can get the ball to receivers. They just got to get open. But the reason yesterday you saw Sillick and you saw Miles Austin, you seen the 3 veterans get a touchdown. Do you know why? Because it was something that the fans nor the Redskins defense would expect. If you hear enough fans say Riley Cooper is a bum, I don't know why we signed him, and then you see Coop break deep for a 62-yard touchdown, that's shock and awe. Brent Selleck is also experienced, though, because Brent Selleck, when Bradford scrambled, and if you check my Instagram, I'm on a video please get a touchdown. I don't trust this. I don't want to see this kicker. Selleck found a way to get open. Miles Austin found a way to get open deep. You know what I'm saying? That's when experience comes into play, and it benefits you. Because every receiver with experience knows, if the pocket collapse and pass protection break down, you got to find your own. You got to make a route so you can get open for your quarterback. Either you got to come back to the ball, you got to do whatever. So those 3 touchdowns he threw yesterday went to the experienced players, you know what I'm saying? And that's where Jordan Matthews and Nelson Aguilar, and that's where all of them guys is going to have to develop. You know what I'm saying? It's all about experience and, live game action. So I'm not really going to bash Bradford. I'm not going to say we need to bench Bradford because basically the damn offensive line is where it starts at. And like Kel said, it's a total disgrace. I would have to agree with him because he said it. You know what I'm saying? I would never say they're a total disgrace as a fan. But the fact that Kel said it, I will co-sign it. Starts with them guys, man. If you're not protecting your quarterback, let's say they protected Bradford 85% of the game. That helps your quarterback, stand in the pocket. That helps his confidence get up. He don't have to look and run around and be all shaken up. You stand back there, you establish your confidence, you get your swag together, you know what I'm saying, and you just pick a team apart because you start to know that you could trust them 5 guys up front. Tony Romo, he don't have to worry about I mean, he does get sacked and everything, but for the most part, like, it just starts with them five guys up front, man. But I believe in Bradford, you know what I'm saying, and I'm going to ride with him for now, you know what I'm saying. But now let me cut this video and get into the DeMarco Murray video. I'll see y'all in a minute.